I've decided to make this video for multiple reasons. First one being, I personally don't even know how much I actually spent in the making of this entire studio. So the goal today is to try to find out how much I really spent. Secondly, nobody ever talks about how much it takes to build something like this, and that's what I'm gonna give you insights on. I'm gonna literally let you know the actual information behind everything, so if you wanna build any one of these sets, then you could go ahead and get inspiration from them and know how much they actually cost. Without further ado, let's start up with the office, because I think that's where we spent kind of like the most money, I think, right? Okay, I think it's better off to say this was a fresh build, so there was nothing in here. I'll show a screenshot of what it was before we even started doing anything in here, but we had to literally pay for most of these walls. We are not the actual owners of this place, we're tenants. So these walls right here, those walls right there along the mezzanine that cover up this little space right here, those walls all came out to $8,135. That is pretty crazy. Now, something that I'm not gonna be able to show you guys is security cameras and door locks came out to $2,749.91. So on just the security around here, that's how much we spent. There's gonna be a bunch of hue lights around here in the studio, and that cost $2,585.2. So that is how much just the little hue lights that we could change up for ambient lighting and all that cost. The sound around here, so you guys see these Sonos right here, right there, those Sonos right there, that bar, a little subwoofer, and then two other Sonos back here. All of those speakers cost $1,931.81. That actually doesn't even like sound real. Like within the whole process, I was like, dude, what? Like, that's how much it costs just for sound and stuff like that. But yeah, in order to power all that up, you do need an iPad. So obviously the iPad costs $339.18. Guys, little things that you don't think of that actually you have to have in the studio is trash cans. That came out to $486.60 on just little trash cans. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Everything starts just adding up and it's just surreal. So, okay, we've gone over everything like that. The next thing is internet. For about 3 months now is $579.43, which is ridiculous, but you know I have to pay all the startup costs and whatnot, so it's business internet, it's not personal internet. With that being said, all the plants in here, so let me show you guys. So there's one right there, two right here with the vases. This is the cost with all the vases and whatnot. Vase right here, plant, and then some more upstairs. All plants in here cost $3,363.01. My God, I don't really like plants that much, but I guess like that's a little too much for freaking plants. But if you want it as aesthetically pleasing to the eye as it looks, then I guess it's gonna cost that much. And then finally, probably should have said this at the beginning, but we've been here for about 3 months and the rent here is actually $3,025, which comes out to $9,075 just to be here, just to have this place running, I guess. So now, speaking of individual sets, we're gonna come up to the office first because I think this is the one where we splurge the most money on. We'll see by the end of the video, but I think we spent the most money in here. So we'll go over this one so you guys could see how much our office cost. So we have these 3 chairs matching. We have that one, and this one. And then we have other Herman Miller chairs like these 2, right? They are a different version, but they're all Herman Miller. And then we have 2 other ones downstairs. So those chairs come out to a grand total of $8,730.36. Oh my God. Now the next thing I want to go over is Mac Studios. These are actually Apple displays, right? Apple kind of overprices them. On those 3, we spent $5,192.75 for just these freaking screens. In standing desks, we spent a total of $3,891.59 just to be able to stand if we get tired of sitting down. It doesn't make sense, but anyways, and these 3 desks and the one under, like downstairs, we spent that much, I guess. So for my entire desk setup, I had to get a new setup. That one cost $1,511.61 just to freaking get this setup right here. And now I'm like, damn, I just wasted so much freaking money. On this Dyson right here, we spent $637.49. On this whiteboard, we spent $138.11. On these filing cabinets that you see across each desk over there, we spent $302 $0.2. There's probably other little details in here that I forgot, but that's all I have for the office. I don't know how much it is. You guys could add up the total and leave it down in the comment section below, but that's the total for the office. Now let's go down below. Okay, so now we're in the lounge area and let's go over everything that we kind of spent around here. Starting off with the thermostat, little Google thermostat or whatever, costs $273.10. The dog bed costs $40. Coffee table is $801.5, as well as this matching little cocktail table, $801.5 as well, which is kind of weird, the fact that they cost the same. Now, the couch was actually not as bad as I thought it would be. Most couches cost really like a heavy penny, but this one is actually $644.09, which is not crazy. I didn't add these, but like it was just a little bit more. Okay, now we have one fridge here and then another one on the other side for a grand total of $565.61. So we spent almost $600 on just fridges. For the PS5, the controller and the dock, we spent, and we blacked it out, so this is the reason it costs a little bit more than the average PS5, but it's $674.63. Marble coasters, $40. Decorations and the helmet right here cost a total of $674.63, not including the bookshelf. The bookshelf cost $184.01. Now the final thing that I'm not gonna forget is this TV right here. This is a 77 OLED TV. I think it's a B2, and then the upstairs one that I didn't mention in the office, that one is also included in this price, so keep that in mind. Cost a grand total of $3,805.94 for those TVs. Like, I'm in my mind right now and I'm like, dude, why the freak did he spend all that, bro, right? All right, so follow me real quick. This is the main set where we do all of our videos and everything like that. But I think the one thing that you can't miss is these big old lights everywhere. So the lights, the mounts, and the soft boxes, all of these little white soft boxes that you see, well, black soft boxes, came out to a grand total $5,691.90 for everything that involves just lights around here. And come on, like, it's not that crazy. Assuming like these will last you a lifetime, and like the fact that they're so useful for like every video and whatnot, I feel like it's definitely a good cop. So okay, so next up, come over here. This station cost $1,506.75. Labor costs to mount up everything, you know, like that pantograph to the ceiling, and then all these, come here, these are actually removable. We could literally just slip them off and then just act like nothing was there, you know what I mean? These random bolts right here are part of installation. We had to pay for people to actually put these up, as well as every other mount around here. So that labor cost $570. The mirror was $742.69. That's an expensive mirror. Coming up to the backdrop, $633.09 for this right here, for this little backdrop that kind of like droops down or whatnot. Most of the stuff in this studio is like, oh shit, like that sounds like a good idea, let's add it, and it's like more than what you expected it to be. So if you follow me on the other side of this wall right here, we have the distribution center, and this desk right here is probably the first thing that I would be like, okay, how much is that desk? That desk actually cost $2,114.55 for that. Obviously, we have a Mac right here, which is not including with the desk, so I had to buy this separately, and this is like the Mac with like the VESA mount, not the one with like the stand. And that cost a grand total of $1,492.77 for this thing right here, because we decided to get the numeric keyboard and stuff like that. Anyways, the rack right here is $269.54 just to store our inventory. And then the fully chair right there, the one item that I don't regret buying at this entire studio, this is $339, but it's so useful. Like, seriously, it's so useful. Okay, so let's come in the restroom and let you guys know, like, honestly, I'm not gonna go crazy on this. Let's just say the shelves and then the paper towel thingy and this was like $100, probably more than that. The mirror was probably the most expensive part, the fact that you could like change up the color settings or whatnot. It was a grand total of $244.36, which is not crazy. The restroom was my favorite part. Like, we didn't really have to spend anything, so I love the restroom. Coming into the kitchen, the microwave is $244.99, and then coffee maker is $159.36. Okay, so now we're in the podcast room. The first thing that I will point out is the monitor. This right here was $509.99, this right here. Okay, next thing is these chairs. I know they seem like regular barber chairs. If you're not really into the whole barber community and you don't really know about chairs that much, these are average chairs to the eye, but they do cost quite a bit. These 3 chairs and that white one right behind you guys cost a grand total of $8,606. That is insane. Dude, my heart hurts right now. So in headphones, these cost $722.46 for these 3, and then we have one more upstairs. And all microphones in this little podcast room and the one upstairs, it costs $1,699.96. Rolling mic stands, so these stands right here cost $487.08. Rolling cart, that little rolling cart right there costs $190. To have all this functioning and working properly, we had to buy that little Rodecaster Pro, and that cost a grand total of $756.67 for that little DJ looking thing. Like, what? All right, so that's enough for the podcast. I think I already mentioned everything. So the only thing dividing the head talk set and the podcast room is these little freaking sound curtains, and those cost $322.58, which actually work pretty good because if you get close, you could actually hear. If you could hear that, it's definitely like, it works. Speaking of sound panels, we have slat panels right here. So these right here, these slat panels, there's soundproofing in between, like in the back of all this. So it's the same effect that as you get over there. I don't know if you could hear me, but it's the same effect you get as those sound curtains. This right here and the other side cost a grand total for just these little wooden things, $3,030.86 for these. This right here, I actually built myself with like a couple of zip ties and crates, and I offset it from there and bought this little like pegboard, and then I'd say I spent like $500 on this. So add that to the tab. Guys, I hope you got some type of information from this. I hope you got some type of inspiration, because at the end of the day, you guys could do it as well. It's nothing special. It's the fact that you gotta be committed to whatever game you're playing. And on top of that, just go all in and make the most out of every single day. With that being said, the grand total for this entire studio comes out to a grand total of about $89,000, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And like, it's just crazy the fact that we could actually afford something like this. But what I will say is thank you guys so much for just staying tuned throughout every single video. It truly means the world to me. We did not start here. We started in a little restroom and then went off and cut for like about 7 years. Yes, 7 years in an apartment room. And now we're here. It takes time to just gather up everything that you need in order to actually get to the level that you want to be at. So keep that in mind. Everything is a progress and everything just takes patience. I love you guys and I love the mob. Peace out.